Sébastien Buemi, the championship leader, is on pole position. His main title rival, Lucas de Grassi, starts back in 13th place, but just 2 races ago, de Grassi won from 15th on the grid. It'll be a tall order to repeat that today. There is his view. He's got an awful long way to go. Here come the lights then. On the right-hand side in the blue and yellow Renault is Buemi. Alongside him in the black and gold Techeetah car is Jean-Eric Vergne as we wait for the lights to come on here at the Qatar Airways Paris E-Prix. All 5 lights are on. And we go green in Paris, and it's a pretty good start from Jean-Eric Vergne on the run down towards the first corner. Can he get the inside line? No. Buemi comes across and covers it well. On the outside comes Nick Heidfeld. Here goes Vergne around the outside. No, doesn't quite manage to pull it off. Still in 3rd place, and there's contact at the back with Daniel Abt and Oliver Turvey. Looks as though de Grassi might have lost a few places, but it is Sébastien Buemi who holds the lead. Jean-Eric Vergne in 2nd place. José María Lopez is in 3rd. 4th is Heidfeld. 5th. And down 1 position is Esteban Gutierrez. The 2 Faraday Future Dragon cars going side by side. D'Ambrosio is about to go around the outside of Conway. That's going to get very, very close as they come into turn 6 and 7. But it's Sébastien Buemi who sprints away up at the front, and he's already built quite a big advantage. Is there going to be any movement coming into turn 8? No, not at the moment, as Rosenqvist looks like he wants to try and get past. But Buemi was under a bit of pressure there, but he managed to hold it together.
Yeah, he was under a lot of pressure, and I think Vergne stated his intention. But now it's down to Vergne just to make that gap up again and see if he can put a bit more pressure into the system. I think Buemi, as we've seen in the weekend so far, has got the pace. It's about managing the energy now over the duration.
Yeah, a 49-lap race. We're expecting pit stops at pretty much half distance, so lap 24, 25, something like that. Here now is the defence from the... And also, looks as though Jean-Eric Vergne actually is holding up the field a little bit. Buemi is sprinting away. He had a 1.4 second lead at the end of the first lap, whereas Vergne, Lopez, Heidfeld, Gutierrez are all right up behind the Frenchman. Then completing the top 10, we've got Freinz, Evans, Prost and D'Ambrosio. Really good start from Jerome D'Ambrosio. Started 12th and is now up into 10th position. This is on board with Felix Rosenqvist. He's got a pretty good drive out of that right-hander at 7. You see them bouncing over the crest as they drive up the Boulevard de la Tour Maubourg. But Sébastien Buemi starting to check out at the front. A little bit defensive from Robin Freinz further back, but they're all line astern at the moment. Stefan Sarazan right at the back of the order. He's also got a 10-second time penalty, so it's going to be a tough old afternoon for him as we complete lap 3 of 49. So they started on this start-finish straight, but the timing line is halfway around the turn 12 complex of corners, so keep an eye out on that one. So this isn't actually the timing line here that they're coming down. They're already a third of the way through the lap. Buemi's lead remains at 1.4 seconds on that tour, so maintaining the lead, not pulling away massively at the moment. There you can see positions gained. Heidfeld made up a place. Big winner, Daniel Abt, up 4 positions. He's now in 12th position, having started in 16th spot. Turvey, the big loser, dropping 3 places down to 17th position. But everyone's starting to get queued up a little bit behind Jean-Eric Vergne.
Yeah, they're all jockeying for position at this stage, but at the same time, they're all trying to get in a rhythm. And it's so important on a street circuit to get that rhythm. It may sound a little bit obscure, but the guys all to settle down, be calm inside the car, and then start to look for strengths and weaknesses of the competitors. And when you're on a street circuit, you've really got to be accurate and pinpoint when you can take advantage. If you're just maybe 12 inches, 18 inches on the wrong side of the circuit, trying to make a move, you get a bit of an unloaded front wheel or so, and you start to lock up, you're in trouble.
Second lap of the race, and the fastest lap is set by Jean-Eric Vergne. So, third lap of the race. So Vergne closes in the gap a little bit on that last time around. So he is now starting to push. Mike Conway tucked up behind Jerome D'Ambrosio. The 2 black and white Faraday Future Dragon entries. They're battling over 10th place, which is the final points-paying position at the moment. Conway trying to make an impact on his return. He'd love to get a full-time seat back in Formula E. At the moment, just filling in for Loic Duval, and I think impressed a lot of people by out-qualifying his more experienced teammate Jerome D'Ambrosio, certainly in terms of Formula E experience, as we're on lap 4 of 49. There is Jean-Eric Vergne, though, in second place. He's had 4 pole positions in his Formula E career, 4 second places, including here last year, but not a victory yet so far, as Buemi leads the way. And again, it's the fastest lap of the race set by Jean-Eric Vergne. It's not, the gap's not coming down at all. In that last lap, it came down by 0.03 of a second, which is pretty irrelevant. But he's making the point that he has got a fast car.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a very small margin there, but I think Buemi is reacting straight away. He's just knocked in a very quick first sector. You know, these guys understand what they need to do. They're going to be looking to see what pace they can produce, given the energy that they're going to be using, and the experience of Buemi, who I have to say also is got this formula under his belt like no other driver. I mean, he really has taken to it.
Yeah, it's been really impressive from Sébastien Buemi. There is the DS Virgin team watching in the garage as Mitch Evans is now very close to Robin Frantz. There's Nico Prost in the other Renault car, the blue and black and yellow flashed car. Nick Heidfeld covering the inside line quite a lot actually from Esteban Gutierrez on the run up into turn 8. Part of this, the key and the trick of saving energy is lifting and coasting, so coming off the throttle so you save energy, but in a place where you can't be overtaken. So around this sequence of corners is the perfect example of where you can save energy, but no matter how slowly you go, people can't get past.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. I mean, it's a very tough circuit. There are some overtaken opportunities, but you saw then Heidfeld just blocking a little bit to a certain extent. He's just trying to tell that guy there, just be aware that I'm going to make it difficult for you. At the same time, you also conserve some of that battery energy.
Is slightly better than the cars around you, 1 to 2%.
So that's Lucas de Grassi being told that he's got a little bit more usable energy than the car around him. You can see him down in 15th place on that tower on the left-hand side, and 79% of usable energy. He has, but goodness me, I thought he was visiting the wall there for a moment. Back end just got away from him, and that's going to unsettle him and probably put him under pressure actually from Antonio Felix da Costa behind. You can see de Grassi just looking across and checking the mirror. Is that Andretti car going to be close enough? That's Daniel Abt up in front, but no, it's not at the moment. So, lap 7 of 49. Now, de Grassi has made a name for himself by doing early pit stops, but they've only been with the assistance of safety cars. Talking to a number of the engineers today, most of them say you can't get a benefit by coming in early, because you have to optimize your energy to such an nth degree that you can't come in early and use up more energy and then stretch the second stint, because it just doesn't work. That's what their numbers are saying. Meanwhile, Buemi has extended his lead to 2.2 seconds. This was a bit of a moment, Mark.
Yeah, he just gets to the apex and gets on the gas a little bit, and it gets a bit of opposite lock-in, but you know, a driver of his caliber wouldn't expect anything different than what he just did, and he covered it quite easily.
Lovely little super slow-mo there on Lucas de Grassi, but there is Buemi now, 2.2 seconds in the lead of the race. Vernon Lopez are coming with him, but no one else is. The Mahindras are a little bit further back. Man on the move at the moment is Nico Prost, and big lock-up from Daniel Abt. He's now trying to get past Mike Conway for 11th position. As the fans are certainly enjoying this action.
Interesting that Jean-Eric Vergne continues to drop in the quickest second sector of the race, just around the first couple of corners, and yet, well, here Sébastien Buemi, as I speak, just answers with the quickest first sector of the race thus far. So it's a duel, even though they are now almost 3 full seconds apart.
Confirm.
So Felix Rosenqvist on the radio. We have their radio open and live, so if they say something, we hear it, basically. All very neat and tidy in this opening stint. With usable energy on the left-hand side. No one really standing out at the moment in terms of good or bad, but it tends to ebb and flow over the course of the E-Prix when we get...
Gutierrez is 1 lap shorter than you, at least 1 lap shorter than you, for sure.
Okay, so that's well, apart from Esteban Gutierrez, who Rosenqvist is just
19.68.
being told that is going a lap shorter than you, because he is struggling a little bit with the usable energy at the moment, Esteban Gutierrez. But again, he's new to the series. You can see he's on 65% of usable energy. Heidfeld, for example, on 69%. So I think we might be seeing the Mahindras here try and go a lap longer than the guys in front, whereas Gutierrez is using through his energy. But again, that lift and coasting is a real talent you have to learn.
Yeah, I think that's something to be expected, to be honest with you. He's come out of an F1 car. He's used to some different power delivery, and with this kind of racing and with Formula E, you hit that demand pedal, the throttle pedal as we would call it, gas pedal. It's all about the instant torque, and it's about conserving energy, but at the same time going as quickly as you can. And Gutierrez has got to adapt to that. And you can see on the percentages there, yes, he's using probably 2 to 3% more energy than most.
Yeah, Lucas Di Grassi, meanwhile, has 68%, so it looks as though Di Grassi may well try and go a lap longer. So Nico Prost's team radio.
Léger sûr.
That is French, I don't understand. And oh, goodness me, that's Gutierrez going defensive from Felix Rosenqvist, and Rosenqvist goes through. So that's Gutierrez dropping down a position to 6th place. So through then goes Felix Rosenqvist. Now Mahindra in 4th and 5th spots. Gutierrez down into 6th position. Buemi still leading the way. 2.2 seconds clear of Jean-Eric Verne, and now Gutierrez is going to get passed by Franks. Is he down into turn 1? Covers the inside line there, but the problem with this as well is as soon as you start defending and driving offline, you're not driving as smoothly as you possibly can, and that doesn't help the energy consumption either.
Yeah, exactly. You need that flow, and you start defending, you start looking in your mirrors, you're consuming your energy inside the cockpit as opposed to looking at the energy what you're using.
We're at the point in the race to announce the winners of the Fan Boost voting competition. At FIAFormulaE.com and on Twitter, Lucas Di Grassi will have extra power once he switches cars. The same for Sébastien Buemi. They are the all-time series leaders in winning Fan Boost honors. And Daniel Abt means both of the Abt Schaefer Audi Sport team's cars will have that extra boost of power. It must be used in one boost in a certain power range in the second car of the two the drivers will race.
So that's more good news for Daniel Abt, having just passed Mike Conway in the Dragon Racing Faraday Future car. Here comes Di Grassi. He's attacking Tom Dillman on the run down towards the first corner. Dillman closes the door. Di Grassi looks to the outside. We're on board with the Brazilian, who's second in the championship at the moment. You can see on the usable energy on the left-hand side, he's got a fraction more than Dillman, who is another man in making his debut. He said he's done about 50 kilometers, I think, which is what, 30 miles of driving in a Formula E car, so that's not much.
Well, he's not doing too bad though, is he?
No, absolutely.
He certainly knows how to defend anyway, so Di Grassi will understand that. So he's going to have to go the long way round, but somebody like Di Grassi will know how to pick him off, I'm pretty sure of that.
Jean-Eric Verne sets the fastest lap of the race and closes the gap down once again a little bit to leader Sébastien Buemi. Down to 2.4 seconds between the two of them. Here's a replay of Lopez. Whoa, that's a big one. That's at turn 6 and 7. Wow.
Yeah, he caught that very well, but that's not ideal. You don't want to get to those angles. If you can sort of catch that, great. But if you keep doing it, at some point, you're going to be the loser.
Yeah, like he was in a caterum or something, didn't he? As down into the turn 1 comes Esteban Gutierrez again in 6th place. This is allowing Heidfeld and Rosenqvist to disappear up the road a little bit in the two Mahindras as the queue begins to form. This is Di Grassi in that green, yellow and red Abt Schaefer Audi Sport car, still in 15th position up behind Tom Dillman. So lost ground at in the opening laps did Lucas Di Grassi, having started in 13th place. He has got a history of coming from the back to the front, as his big boss ultimately, Wolfgang Ulrich, the director of Audi Sport, watches in the garage. But Di Grassi in season 1 in Malaysia came from 18th to 2nd. In Hong Kong this year he came from 19th to 2nd, and in Mexico he came from 15th to 1st. So discount Lucas Di Grassi at your peril. Meanwhile, Daniel Abt, his teammate, is starting to put the other Faraday Future Dragon Racing car of Jerome D'Ambrosio under some pressure now for 10th position. So
target 1.08, we are good on energy, we are doing good, mate. Carry on.
Mitch Evans being told he's doing good on energy, and indeed he is. He's got a little bit more than Robin Franks in front of him. Very, very deep into turn 1 therefore. Esteban Gutierrez. Is that going to be the opportunity for the white and blue Andretti car of Robin Franks to get past? Mitch Evans was lurking behind as well in the black Jag. Not quite able to do it.
Gutierrez now is holding those cars up, so you're going to get some frustration behind him, and he's also using far too much energy, I think, to make use of what he had available to him. So you know the guys behind are going to tee him up very soon.
We can't afford to push yet. We'll easily pass Gutierrez, but you can't pass both now. Carry on as you're doing. Safe.
How frustrating is that to be told we can't really afford for you to attack them?
Well, that would be at the point where I pull out the radio cord. But that's old school, but there you go.
Gutierrez again out of shape, coming through turns 11, 12 and 13. Here they come. I mean, Evans, I suppose, has got to hope that there's a mistake made by one of the two drivers in front, so he doesn't have to push to make the overtake. Frank's looking towards the inside line again. Nico Prost is in this battle too, but now Gutierrez is 4.6 seconds behind the two Mahindras of Heidfeld and Rosenqvist in 4th and 5th, so they're really starting to fall back. This is ultimately the battle over 6th position. Oh, and that's Nelson Piquet making an error, I think, on the exit of turn 5. And he's dropped way back. He was in 13th position. Looks as though he's dropped back to 16th now, and that's 1 position gained for Lucas di Grassi. Didn't quite see what happened. Looked as though he's just gone in a bit deep.
Yeah, it looked like somebody actually got underneath him and squeezed him up to the wall, and it'd be interesting to see if he's got any damage.
Lap 15 of 49, so we're about 10 laps or so away from the pit stop window.
I'm noticing as we get closer and closer to that pit stop window, di Grassi's ability to marshal his energy is coming through once again. There you see him with 47%, significantly more than others
108
in some case. So we'll see if he goes farther than they do before stopping, thereby saving more energy for his second car.
Considerably more than his teammate Daniel Abt as well. Abt in 10th place is on 38% of usable energy. You're looking at about probably 4 or 5% will give you a lap of energy around here as a rough estimate. Obviously the teams in the cars have much more accurate than sort of to 1%. They've got it to a much smaller, but that information isn't beamed back to the pits. So when you hear the engineers on the radio saying it looks like he has 2 or 3% more energy than you, that's because they're looking at the TV pictures and reading the same energy bar that you're reading. There's no telemetry for the amount of energy left back to the pits. It's all reliant on the driver reporting back at every single lap. Top 4, meanwhile, pretty much on the same in terms of usable energy. There's Antonio Felix da Costa. Bold move going up the inside of Lucas di Grassi and getting past. So di Grassi dropping a position now behind da Costa, down to 14th position.
Yeah, also I think you'll find di Grassi just clipped the wall on the left-hand side there, even with the rear end. So it's great that he saved energy. At the same time, he hasn't been there in terms of pace, and somebody's gone underneath him and made the move.
Got a bit of damage to the front of the car as well. I think the front of the nose is just sticking up in the air just a tad. So Nico Prost there running in 9th position.
Abt est sur un short run, il fait moins de lift.
Okay, well that's French I don't understand. But nevertheless, a little bit of a lock-up there from Dillman as he comes in, but it's still Buemi leading, 2.8 seconds clear now of Jean-Eric Vergne. 3rd is still José María López. 4th, Nick Heidfeld. 5th, Felix Rosenqvist. Gutierrez, Fraintz, Evans, Prost and Abt completing the top 10. Di Grassi's dropped down to 15th position now. He's saving more energy than everybody else. Just wonder, I don't think he'll quite have enough to go 2 laps longer than the rest of the field. Not at the moment, but in the next 10 laps, perhaps he can save just a fraction more to offset it, and then he can push harder in his second car because he'll have more energy remaining. It certainly looks as though he's going to go 1 lap longer. I was wondering if they'll try and push it to 2.
I think he's going to need at least 1 lap to make any difference. And even so, Jack, I think if he does that, he's still going to come out in a pretty congested pack.
So, there goes da Costa up the inside, this time of Dillman. Looked like they might have made a little bit of contact there. So that's not ideal between the two of them. Now di Grassi is trying to get back at da Costa. Not quite able to do it around the outside. That was always going to be a bit bold. I think we've got a little bit of foliage on the circuit as well on that run up the Boulevard de la Tour Maubourg. But look how sideways da Costa is getting in that Andretti car, and if you're spinning the wheels, you are just wasting energy as they come out through the right-hander, past the Musée Rodin on the left-hand side, then Varenne subway stop, and here comes di Grassi going for it up the inside. They're going to touch here. Da Costa just about keeps out of the wall, but this is a tough fight between 2 tough racers, and di Grassi is desperate to get past. There's a look up the inside again, coming into 4. Not quite able to do it at Place Vauban. He's getting a little bit irritated now. Well, yes, he is getting irritated. I can't overtake.
I think that's quite evident at this stage, but there's going to be some frustration definitely inside the helmet there of Di Grassi. He's actually quite fortunate there, to be fair, because Da Costa could have made that a little bit more difficult for him.
Cheryl Fletcher, using hashtag Paris E-Prix, says, do you think that 3 seasons in you should have learnt French by now so you can translate it for us? Well, yeah, maybe I should have done, actually.
You're relying on them.
Yeah, exactly. That's my goal for season 4 then.
What to get you for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Lap 16 of 49. Esteban Gutierrez defending from Robin Freights, going in very, very deep. Still holding on to that 6th spot is Gutierrez. But using a lot more energy than the folks around. Well, actually, not too much compared to Buemi and Verne. He's on about the same now. So whereas he sort of seemed to eat through it when he was trying to keep pace with the guys in front, he's kind of matching them. Now he's backed off a lot.
How are we on temperatures?
That's Robin Freights asking how we are on temperatures. Di Grassi's very close now to Antonio Felix da Costa, close enough for a move. Da Costa covers the inside line. Oh, he's going for around the outside. That's never going to work. They're both in the wall. Da Costa off, Di Grassi off. And that is a disaster for the championship contender. Da Costa's going to be out of the race, but that was almost an identical to a week ago in Monaco, going around the outside. Well, was it ever going to work?
I don't think it was ever on, to be fair. I'm slightly surprised that he tried to make the move. Frustration, that's all that was. It just boiled over.
So Da Costa climbs out of his car. The Andretti is out of the race. Well, somehow Di Grassi has managed to keep on going. He's going to have a little bit of a nice breeze on his feet. But apart from that, it looks as though the car is reasonably intact.
Quite remarkable.
Here's a look at the replay, Mark.
Yeah, he's going the long way around, which is always going to be a tough call. Then he's going into a right-hander. He's actually made the move, but at the same time, he hasn't quite given up the fact that Da Costa was going to get away with it. And as we've clearly seen, Da Costa didn't want it to happen. This is remarkable that he's got no damage, if that is the case.
He really he pushed. I mean, you feel for Da Costa there. There's nothing really he could have done.
Yeah, I mean, he's made the move and then he's squeezed in, coming towards the apex of the corner, which, to be fair, he's banking on Da Costa backing out. But I think it's a little bit naughty, Di Grassi. I think it's a little bit unfair.
5,
Di Grassi saying that the car is okay, and I think we're getting a full course yellow now.
Full course yellow.
Now,
full course yellow.
Where is Di Grassi? Is he in the pits? Evans, Abt, Dillman, PK, Carroll, they've all come into the pits, and so has Lucas Di Grassi. So are we going to see a right old switch around now as these guys pit under full course yellow? Now, we are a long, long way from the end of this E-Prix. So these guys are going to have to work incredibly hard, but into the pits they all come. So the order is Buemi leading the way, Verne in second. Essentially what you've got is that everyone outside the top 10 who's not in a points-paying position has gone, well, let's give it a go.
Absolutely grabbing track position. So all those people running across the grass of the Esplanade from the Allianz E-Village to watch this action in the pit lane.
So there is Di Grassi changing into... He had reported that the car was absolutely fine.
Attention.
And into the pits comes Buemi now. So Buemi coming in too, also under the full course yellow. So if everyone pits under the full course yellow, then it should pretty much negate any advantage. But we'll wait and see. Di Grassi has come out ahead, though, of all those other drivers, of Abt, of Dillman, of PK, of Carroll. They were a lot... Di Grassi nailed that pit stop time. The minimum pit stop time looks as though the rest of the field were about 10 seconds slower than Di Grassi on that. So could be...
Respect the flags.
It could
respect
be
the flags
he
at
causes
turn
a
8.
crash.
We're recovering the 28 car.
Brings out a full course
He
yellow.
caused a crash and took full advantage of it.
Yeah.
There should be a regulation for that, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. It's 70 seconds is the minimum pit stop time. Well, hang on. Well, Di Grassi is showing us doing it in 1 minute 2 seconds. But the light came up as green. So we'll get confirmation of that, because according to the pit stop time, Di Grassi did it 1 minute 2 seconds, which is 10 seconds quicker than anyone else.
Go.
Oh, sorry, am I looking at Daniel Abt there on his pit stop time? No, I'm not.
No,
1 minute
you're looking
2
at Di Grassi. 62 seconds, it says.
Well, race control have confirmed that it is 70 seconds, the minimum pit stop time. So it seems as though Di Grassi has done it 10 seconds too quickly, potentially, which would not be ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Daniel Abt did it at the appropriate time. So, well, we'll certainly wait and see how this one unfolds. Now, Rosenqvist and Conway have decided not to pit under the full course yellow. So they are going to think we can stay up at the front, push really hard, and possibly pull out an advantage, but surely not enough of an advantage. Well, I guess they're not behind the safety car, are they? So they're not all going to subsequently get bunched up. Out of the pits now comes Gutierrez. So, wow, this is all going to shake out in a couple of moments' time, but the facts are Rosenqvist and Conway are staying out. The facts are we're under full course yellow because Antonio Felix da Costa and Lucas de Grassi came together and they're recovering his car.
Just confirm everything is okay.
There's Oliver Rowland at the back. Now here's de Grassi's team radio, asking them to check everything's okay.
We're still working on N laps remaining.
Timing and scoring also shows.
Time was good.
The pit stop time was good is the question.
Adam Carroll also
no
too quick at
now.
69 seconds.
I think de Grassi, I think they just said no. I think they just, was the pit stop time good? And they're saying no, because de Grassi is clever enough to look in his mirrors and see all these cars that
Say,
he was
I'm not where I should be. Yeah.
He must be questioning that. He must be understanding now that there could be something going to hit him very hard in terms of taking him back to the edge of the grid.
Nico Prost and Nick Heidfeld for Renault E-Dams and Mahindra, respectively, hit the number precisely. 1 minute, 10 seconds.
Rosenqvist has come in now into the pit, so at the moment Conway's the only one staying out and rolling the dice.
N27, N27.
So watch out for Jean-Eric Verne here coming out of the pit lane. The yellow flags are waving as he rejoins the track now under full course yellow, and all side by side with the Oliver Turvey. Turvey has decided to hold on for that one, but just to clarify, well, there's a look at the replay. Well, they pretty much came out together, didn't they? So that's going to be one for the
attention teams. This is race control. We will end the full course yellow in 10.
Oh, Turvey's decided to pit
9,
now. Turvey's decided
8,
to pit now, as has Rosenqvist,
7,
as the full
6,
course yellow is ending.
5,
so we're about
4,
to get racing back underway.
3, 2, 1. Green flag, green flag.
So away we go. The green flag is waving again. That lap counter at the top is incorrect. We're on lap 23 of 49, not lap 16 of 49. So that's what caught me out earlier. That lap counter has been frozen. So we are in the pit stop window, basically. So you should be able to do it. There we go, lap 23 of 49 now. So now we're back on course. So you are going to have to stretch this second stint. Conway is the man who has rolled the dice here because he's the only driver who decided not to pit.
Do not hold up Daniel. Do not hold up Daniel.
Do not hold up Daniel, says Lucas de Grassi's engineer. So I think they know something is amiss with that pit stop time.
Yeah, it could be quite costly, that one. And I think it'll be a very frustrated Lucas de Grassi when he comes out at the end of this race.
So Mike Conway there is leading the Qatar Airways Paris E-Prix. He is going to have to pit soon. Everybody else has pitted. So he's going to be able to push harder in his second car, but he's going to lose a lot of time pitting unless there's another full course yellow. So it's a bold call from Faraday Future Dragon Racing. Not quite certain how it's going to work out, or I can't quite see how it can work out anything other than poorly unless there's a full course yellow or a safety car.
Yeah, no, he needs another yellow, another incident to make that work. Otherwise, it's going to be quite costly.
So Buemi's advantage over Verne has come down. It's now 1.5 seconds, and that may be helpful actually.
2.6
for Verne, because Buemi may find himself getting stuck up behind Mike Conway. The incident involving de Costa and de Grassi is under investigation by the stewards. We're on lap 24 of 49, so pretty much half race distance, and we've already had the pit stops for everyone except race leader Mike Conway. Now, if it's a 70-second pit in, pit out time, unless Conway can really push now, he's going to come out at the back, okay, with much more usable energy than everyone else, and he may be able to carve through the order, but he's going to be coming out pretty much dead last, really, if it's 70 seconds, because The furthest person back is Oliver Turvey in 17th place, and he's 54 seconds back. As moving out the way there is Jerome D'Ambrosio, who is a lap down, so something's gone on for Jerome as well.
Conway took 7/10 of a second out of Buemi there on that lap.
Okay, so he's pushing, and this is going to help him, and he can probably do another two laps or so.
2 laps to go, this one included. So after this lap, 1 lap to go.
Okay, after this lap, 1 lap to go until Mike Conway decides to come into the pit, so he's going to have to start to push. So
you will start losing regen.
There is the first and second place cars, essentially. Sébastien Buemi and Jean-Eric Verne. Mike Conway not in the fight for the lead, unfortunately. Also, Robin Frentz and Esteban Gutierrez are under investigation. Not quite sure what that is for. It looks as though Stefan Sarazan's pit time may have been too short as well. You can see Conway with 6% of usable energy remaining on the left.
This lap.
And so as a result, he's got to box this lap for the Englishman.
Meanwhile, Sébastien Buemi holding on to the Visa fast lap provisionally right now. That's another championship bonus point. He is the first driver in Formula E history to complete the sweep of winning the race from pole and collecting the Visa fast lap. I believe it was Beijing at the beginning of season 2 that he did that, and he's in position to do it again today.
Here's Mike Conway then, the race leader, but not for much longer, because as he bounces through the right-hander of turn 10, a little bit of opposite lock, and now he's going to hug it tight to the left and make his way into the pits to make his pit stop. So he'll have more usable energy than the rest of the pack, but he'll be a long way back. We'll see how that gamble works out. That means Buemi leads the race then, only 1.2 seconds ahead of Jean-Eric Verne, who was half a second quicker on that last lap. Lopez is third, Heidfeld fourth, fifth for Rosenqvist, sixth for Gutierrez. Then it's Frentz, Prost, de Grassi and Abt who will complete the top 10. Now we saw in we saw in Monaco, Buemi not so happy with his second car. It got taken back to Viry, they had a look at it, couldn't really find any problems with it, but he said since Buenos Aires, the third race of the season, he just hasn't felt comfortable in the second car, which it must be identical.
Well, you say that, Jack, and I can assure you that there's several people there that have been drivers over the years.
Here comes de Grassi to go past Nico Prost. De Grassi uses his fan boost to go past Nico Prost down into the first corner. So that's a place gain for de Grassi. He's up into 8th position, but surely has some kind of penalty looming and has just set the fastest first sector of anyone. But yes, Buemi's sort of favourite cars.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that over the years you just see de Grassi make this move with his fan boost initiated, easily done, and a lot cleaner than his last attempt on track. But no, drivers have favourite cars. There's no two ways about it. And yes, they should be identical in precision engineering, but for some bizarre reason, one will always be better than the other.
So we've got 22 laps to go in the Qatar Airways Paris E-Prix. Lap 28 of 49. There is de Grassi now on the back of Robin Frentz. Once again, Verne is quicker than Buemi by 1/10 of a second. Gap comes down to 1.1 seconds now. José María López still third for the DS Virgin team. Heidfeld and Rosenqvist, the two Mahindras, completing the top 5. Another good team performance from Mahindra. And José María López, if he manages to hold on to this third position, will be his first ever podium in Formula E.
Steward monitor indicates that Gutierrez, Turvey, Verne and Frentz are all being investigated for various infractions, and that incident between Da Costa and de Grassi is also under investigation. So right now, Lucas de Grassi is pretty much on every police blotter on the property.
You don't want to get on the wrong side of the gendarme.
Yeah. There's a set of handcuffs waiting for him. You know?
Goodness gracious, he's had nothing but problems.
Yeah.
So he's now got a problem in the shape of Robin Frentz up in front of him. Buemi, it is leading the way. That last lap, Buemi extended the gap a little bit again, back up to 1.2 seconds now. Here comes Robin Frentz attacking Esteban Gutierrez. Gutierrez didn't see that one coming, and Frentz gets the inside line and makes the move. Is de Grassi going to try and take advantage of that? That's Robin Frentz up into 6th position for the Andretti team. His teammate Da Costa out of the race, and there is the confirmation. Lucas de Grassi and Adam Carroll have both been given a drive-through penalty for being under the minimum pit stop time. So Lucas de Grassi's day gets worse and worse. He's going to struggle to score points here, and as a result, Sébastien Buemi is quite
Lucas,
possibly...
we have a drive-through penalty. Drive-through penalty. Let's do it now.
Let's see if Lucas gives any response.
I bet he wishes he had that fan boost back.
Yeah, indeed. This would extend Buemi's championship lead over de Grassi to 43 points if de Grassi failed to score here, which is looking sort of likelier and likelier, really. A drive-through penalty is going to cost him at least 30 seconds. Minimum, actually, because it's quite a long pit lane here. And he's tucked right up behind Gutierrez now, looks to the inside line, gets the job done on the brakes. Now, they did say, let's take it immediately, and he has opted not to do that, by the looks of things, so we'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised by that. I thought he'd taken instruction, but the loser in that was Mike Conway. From leading the race, he's now down in P17, so the decision to roll the dice has not worked at the moment, although he's going to gain a couple of spots now with these penalties.
Yeah, Jerome D'Ambrosio in the other Faraday Future Dragon car. Back in the pits. De Grassi asking
confirm
to confirm the drive-through.
Drive-through penalty.
And it is confirmed, so... Well, tough times for Lucas de Grassi. He won the Paris E-Prix last year, but not this time around. And there is Adam Carroll in the Jaguar car, down in 18th spot, and he has served his drive-through penalty, so he's going to be not in a good place. Here is a replay of, and there's Prost going past Gutierrez. So Nico Prost up the inside at Place Vauban, managing to take that position away. So Gutierrez starting to slide back down the order, and there is Lucas de Grassi serving his drive-through penalty. Well, it's one of those weekends, isn't it? When it doesn't go right, nothing goes right.
Yeah, you have that, your up and downs, and you know, the big winner in all of this is Buemi again. He's just extending that championship lead, which he dearly needs, because when he goes and does the World Endurance Championship race, these guys are going to catch him up with some point scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to be very, very important. Here comes de Grassi back out in the middle of the Lopez, Heidfeld, Rosenqvist fight. Actually, that's Sam Bird in there, isn't it, in the other DS Virgin car. So Buemi leads the way, a second and a half clear of Jean-Eric Verne for Techeetah in second position. Third, Jose Maria Lopez, quite a way back. It's that Frantz, Prost, Abt, Gutierrez, Dillman battle, I think, that's going to be the closest on the circuit. That queue over sixth place at the moment, but well, that last, but Jean-Eric Verne's staying with him, down to 1.2 seconds at the end of the middle sector, so wouldn't be surprised if Jean-Eric Verne hasn't given this one up.
Don't forget, just a week ago in Monaco, Lucas de Grassi was able to run down Sébastien Buemi and close up a gap of several seconds to make it a nose-to-tail finish.
Do you think Buemi would have been told? Would you have wanted to be told that de Grassi is, you know, done in this race pretty much? Or is that going to affect you and lose concentration?
Yeah, I don't think the guys will need to tell him that information. He's got a job to do, and he's got it in hand, and that's where his focus will be. He's leading. He's got to worry about, you know, extending that lead. But you know, I have to say, at the moment, Verne is matching him pretty much on lap time. We're only talking, you know, less than a tenth of a second, and you know, that's something that he's going to have to consider.
So there is Sébastien Buemi, the race leader.
More focused on Jev behind him than he is on Lucas de Grassi, a lap down.
Buemi using his fan boost now to pull away a little bit from Jean-Eric Verne, so he gets the extra power boost. You see him going up to the full 200 kilowatts of power, which they can use for qualifying, and that just stretches the advantage. That'll be a good 3 or 4 tenths of a second advantage, I'd have thought, at the end of this lap.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice little psychological boost. He just loses sight of him in his mirrors.
So now this is going to be Lucas de Grassi going for the fastest lap of the race. And off! It's Jean-Eric Verne. It's Jean-Eric Verne from second place is in the wall. Well, here in the commentary box, I felt a huge thud. Wondered what on earth was that? And it is Jean-Eric Verne, the Parisian, out of the Paris E-Prix.
It's virtually on our doorstep as he makes this corner, hits the right side wall hard.
He just clipped that inside curve there on the left, and unsettled his car across to the right side wall, and that's quite a heavy impact, you know. It's definitely rattled his cage.
And that is Jean-Eric Verne out of his home race, and real disappointment for Techeetah. It promotes Lopez up into second position, but Jean-Eric Verne is going to be gutted. Now this could bring out a safety car, I'd have thought, because it will be a difficult place to recover this car from, as Verne now starts to
safety car.
climb out. And here we go, safety car is
safety
deployed.
Car is deployed.
Scott Elkins, the
safety
race
car
director.
Is on track, deployed.
So this will spice things up a little bit, close all the gaps up a little bit. And, well, Jean-Eric Verne, he was pumped before the start of this race. Saw him just before he got in the car, and he was giving it all the fist-pumping action, and, you know, even seemed quite friendly to me, which was very bizarre in itself. And just pushing a little too hard, maybe, to try and close in on Buemi. So the Qualcomm safety car is deployed.
That's right, no virtual safety car this one. This is going to take some cleanup.
En R2, pour info, Di Grassi a pris un drive-through, il est 18e. Lopez derrière toi et Heidfeld.
Okay, so Buemi has just been told that Di Grassi has been given a drive-through and is now down in 18th position. Here we go again with Verne. It's his full speed.
So left side wheels. Actually,
no, that was weird.
He didn't appear to take that much curb.
No, it was interesting actually. I thought there was a bit more curb than that had more of an effect. But when you look at it again, it didn't actually look like there was much movement on the car. But there again, he didn't actually turn left either.
Okay, so the safety car deployed. The team apparently have said we're so sorry for you on the radio. So whether that means it was a car problem or whether they're just being polite, we'll have to wait and see. But safety car out then, lap 35 of 49, 15 laps to go. And there is Jean-Eric Verne's tattered Techeetah. Now here we go, slow motion. Let's keep an eye out on this. He seems to turn the corner normally and then just almost understeer into the barrier. Full lock.
Yeah, that's. I think something's broken there,
yeah,
because he's got lock on, and it's like it's unloaded on one side and it's just sent him off straight into the wall, because he's definitely got lock applied and he should be turning the corner. The radius should be taken. It's just, yeah.
Terminal understeer.
Yeah, it's just rear ends collapsed on him and pulled him into the wall. Bad luck.
Yeah, really bad luck. So Jean-Eric Verne out of the race. Here is now the race order with Sébastien Buemi then in the blue and yellow. Well, there is Verne walking back.
You just need to brake.
Head down, very disappointed. Buemi leading the way.
I stopped in doing the regen after a few laps in turn 4 and turn 7.
Round of applause from the fans opposite, you can hear, but I don't think that'll be much of a spirit lifter for Jean-Eric Verne, who just puts his hand into his visor. You saw Lucas Di Grassi and him waiting to go out and set the fastest lap. They've changed the rear wing. You can see the rear wing is a lot flatter now, where those Audi rings would have been more prominent. They've now lowered it down, so they're going to have a much quicker lap. So we're going to look here for the left front steering arm. Look at it, look at it, look at it, left front. And, well,
see anything
really
obvious?
See anything? No.
It doesn't seem to be obvious, but you can see there's definitely a huge amount of lock in, but the car's not taking the corner. So yeah, technical failure without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
The left front hub suddenly twisted sideways, and the impact was on the right side, but
tough on the guy for his home race.
Absolutely.
Tough on the fans in the Allianz E-Village as well, who have come to see their favourite driver. He was on the podium here last year, quite an atmosphere, but not going to be one this time around. And, well, there's the place to have the view, isn't it? And there's the place to have the drink as well.
Yeah, make a note. Let's put our commentary position up there next year.
Yes, good idea. I'm sure they'll go for that. Certain. Lap 36 of 49 then. We're still behind the safety car. Buemi leads, Lopez second, Heidfeld third, Rosenqvist fourth, Freinz up into fifth place. Nico Prost in sixth, Abt, Gutierrez, Dillman and Piquet the top 10, and that's good news for Dillman if he does manage to score points on his Formula E debut. I think he'll be very satisfied, but hopefully we'll get that car cleared before too long and we can go back to green racing. Now I don't think we will see Lopez attacking Buemi. It seemed as though Verne was the only one really who had the kind of pace to do it, but we'll wait and see. But it's certainly going to close everything up again, and it'll be a 14 lap sprint, and this will be great for their energy saving. So now they'll be pushing a lot harder in the closing stages because they won't have to save as much energy.
Well, we have a moment. I'll reiterate something I said during one of our practice shows, and the Qualcomm safety car is on track this weekend as Jean-Eric Vergne deals with his emotions heading to the back of the garage. Qualcomm demonstrated its Halo dynamic charging technology out at the Versailles Palace outside Paris. A technology that allows an electric car to be recharged as it moves down the road. So effectively, it's a closed loop. Constant recharging, constant motion. And as CEO of the series, Alejandro Agag, said we can have a 24-hour race without a pit stop, in theory.
Yeah, indeed. Lap 37 of 49. There is Robin Freitz, who's running in 5th position at the moment behind the safety car.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Lights out, turn 7.
Safety car in this lap will be coming in on turn 7.
If that voice sounded familiar to American race fans, it is Scott Elkins, who was a former technical chief with the IMSA, what is now the IMSA WeatherTech series, serving as race director this weekend.
So we're getting ready to have the safety car come in. There's a few back markers in the middle of all this bunch. You've got Adam Carroll in there. There's Robin Freitz in 5th position. We were actually going to just try and have a word with him, but now the safety car's coming in. That feels a little bit rude. So we'll let him concentrate on driving for now. And Buemi's gone. Buemi's gone by the looks of it already, down at turn 8. He's going to need to be careful though, because he's going to catch the safety car. So I think he had to get out of that one. I think he decided to go, then had to back off, but now he just about times it right. Across the line he comes. Sébastien Buemi leads the way. José María López is in 2nd place. 3rd position is the Mahindra of Nick Heidfeld, and de Grassi has come out in front of Sébastien Buemi to get a clear track. We saw a little bit of this jiggery-pokery in London at the end of last season. There up the inside goes Robin Freitz, going past and lapping the Jaguar car of Adam Carroll, who's now going to have to try and get out of the way of everybody. But Buemi it is who leads, Lopez in 2nd. Unless de Grassi...
Target 1.19.
Okay, there's the target being given to Lopez, but Lopez, if he... I don't think he's got the long-term energy saving of Buemi, but if he can just try and make a move in these early stages and then hold on.
You would have thought that maybe with that reduction in energy used while they're under safety car, there should be enough to get almost a sprint race to the end there. But
here's Daniel Abt using his fan boost, only to go past Adam Carroll though, so not really an overtake for position. Well, not at all an overtake for position. As they fly through then to complete the next lap of running. We've got 11 laps to go. Lap 39 of 49 in the Paris E-Prix. And it's Buemi leading the way.
1.3, 1.6.
Lopez just giving back a reading to the DS Virgin team. Tom Dillman is right behind Esteban Gutierrez. Keep an eye out on this black Venturi car coming down into turn 1. Let's see if we can spot whether he decides to make a move. Lucas de Grassi, meanwhile, does the fastest first sector of anyone, so he is pushing for the fastest lap award, which will give him a point.
11 laps to go. Tag.
11 laps to go is told Lopez. Also, Jerome D'Ambrosio actually has just gone faster in the first sector than Lucas de Grassi managed. So D'Ambrosio also in the Faraday Future Dragon car trying to set the fastest lap of the race. There is Rosenqvist in 4th position. Bouncing through the right-hander. Good news, of course, for Mahindra. Finishing in 3rd and 4th positions. Now Nair, de Grassi sets the fastest lap, but just wait for D'Ambrosio to come across the line in a couple of seconds' time. Is he going to be able to go quicker?
Go in region 8, region 8.
So Rosenqvist having a conversation with his engineer.
Copy that, region 8.
And no, he doesn't go quicker. D'Ambrosio 0.2 of a second slower than de Grassi, so de Grassi does now have that point for fastest lap. There's the look up the inside, late on the brakes from Mitch Evans, just about gets it stopped. That's him past Stefan Sarazan and up into 11th position. So Mitch Evans pushing hard. He lost a bit of time, I think, under virtual safety car, because they decided not to pit, I think, Jaguar until a little later in the virtual safety car proceedings. But now Evans wants to close in on Piquet and continue Jaguar's impressive run of scoring. Oliver Turvey is the man at the back of this queue, down in 13th position. But there are our race leaders, pretty much nose to tail.
Yeah, there's not much between them at all in lap time, less than a tenth of a second. And I think, you know, Lopez is doing a great job. I mean, considering the guy has come from touring cars, world champion several times, and he's got himself into a Formula E seat, and he's adapting very well. But his pace is there. He's matching Buemi pretty consistently.
In case you're wondering where Lucas Di Grassi went after setting the Visa fast lap, he pitted.
And there is Gutierrez now, just going past Adam Carroll, the back marker. And Mitch Evans, actually, he did pit in the first round of pit stops, but his pit stop was 25 seconds slower than it needed to be. So that's what cost him positions and time. So now he's back up into 11th position. He'll be hoping to get into the points in 10th or above and continue to... Oh, that's going to be a close one. Piquet into the back of Dillman for 9th spot. That allows Mitch Evans into the fight. You can see the biggest winner in this race is Daniel Abt, who's gone up 9 places, now running in 7th position. So good work from him. But now this Evans-Dillman-Piquet battle is going to get quite spicy over 9th place, and all queued up behind Esteban Gutierrez. Lap 42 of 49, 8 laps to go. Buemi on that last lap extended the lead to 1.1 seconds over Jose Maria Lopez in 2nd place. Now what are we going to have here down into turn 1? Is anyone going to be close enough under braking? Dillman covers the sort of middle line. And Robin Freitz, Esteban Gutierrez and Tom Dillman. No, I think just Freitz and Gutierrez have been given a 5-second time penalty for speeding under full course yellow. So Gutierrez and Freitz, a 5-second time penalty for speeding under full course yellow. I think where it says Dillman, I think that's a computer glitch where they put in 5 seconds, but it's taken it as a car number 5, which is Tom Dillman. That's the way I read that, but we'll wait for confirmation.
I think you're right.
Mitch Evans is pushing there. You just see him locking up an inside right. He's doing a good job, but I'm sure Jaguar would like to see that car in the points. They've come into the sport and they've had a great progressive season, but I think they'd like to get some big results.
And that is Mitch Evans, the Kiwi from Auckland, on the radio.
Target 1.13. Gutierrez has a 5-second penalty. We're P11 on track.
Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Sam Bird rejoined the racetrack with fresh power, and he grabbed the Visa fast lap provisionally away from Lucas Di Grassi.
So I wonder if we'll see Di Grassi go out again. In fact, we have seen Di Grassi go out again. He's just set the fastest first sector of anyone. There's Freitz, there's Prost. And there is Alain Prost, watching his man Sébastien Buemi lead the race, watching his son Nico Prost hold on to 6th position at the moment, although he's slightly down, isn't he, on usable energy, 26%, as opposed to Robin Freitz's 27-28%. But there's Sébastien Buemi, the race leader, coming into turn 1. Still, Lopez is staying with him, 1.1 seconds back.
He's still matching him on lap time. It's just less than a tenth again on that lap. So maybe he's got something left in the tank. We'll have to wait and see, or I should say in the battery.
Yes, exactly. On board we go with Nico Prost, who's up behind Robin Freitz.
This is becoming a real three-way duel back there. Di Grassi has now re-entered the track. Jerome D'Ambrosio is back on track. And along with Sam Bird, they're in a three-way tussle over that bonus point for the Visa fast lap.
So here you can see 170 kilowatts of power on the right-hand side in the middle. The dial around the top is the speed that they're going. You can hear the brake, and when it goes into the negative numbers, that power in the middle, that is them regenerating energy. So that's on board with Nico Prost, who's running in 6th place at the moment. And there's everyone queuing up for the podium, because the podium will be right at the front there, and it's always a spectacular event here. But yeah, Sam Bird, it still is with the fastest lap. Even though Di Grassi did the fastest 2nd and 3rd sectors, he hasn't been able to hook it all together. There he is on the left-hand side. Confirmation that it is Freitz and Gutierrez who have the 5-second time penalty. So that means that Freitz would drop back maybe 2 positions. Yeah, probably 2 positions behind Prost and Abt as it stands, because he'd then be 12.5 seconds behind the leader. which would put him behind Gutierrez in 8th, but Gutierrez has a time penalty as well. So I think we're looking at Freinz in 7th and Gutierrez possibly dropping out of the points.
Sandberg slotting back into traffic.
Strong day for the Mahindra team at the moment with 2 of the guys up there, so the team championship side.
They've been very strong of late. They had a great race going in Mexico City before they were involved, both cars, in the same incident, also including Nico Prost, who was blamed for fomenting it.
8-7 for 8-7.
They have been strong of late.
Yeah, indeed. 3 podiums so far this season, 2 for Nick Heidfeld, 1 for Felix Rosenqvist. They've only actually had 2 double points finishes of Mahindra, but they are lying 3rd in the championship at the moment, quite a way behind the top 2, but this is going to help them no end. As there is Jose Maria Lopez in that second purple and silver DS Virgin car, trying to close in and chase down
4 laps, gap
Buemi.
behind 2.8.
So it's Renault versus Citroën, essentially, in the Paris E-Prix. DS, a brand of the an arm of the Citroën group. So 2 of the big heavyweights in French motoring going head to head, just like the first ever motor race back in 1894, sorry, where you had the likes of the Peugeot brothers racing each other. Started in Paris, went all around France. It was won by a steam-powered car, I think. Anyway, that was then. This is the future. Lap 47 of 49. 3 laps to go. Doesn't quite look, Mark, as though Lopez is going to have enough here. He's now 1.6 seconds back.
Yeah, Buemi's just opened up the gap there, and I still says,
oh, De Grassi's in the wall. Doesn't really affect anything because he, well, it means that he won't be able definitely now to set the fastest lap. Whoa, big lock up on the right front. Wow. Straight to the scene of the accident.
That's just summed up his weekend.
yeah, absolutely. Second crash of the race for Lucas De Grassi. Looks like he's got going again, has he? Well, double wave yellow, so perhaps not. But he will get going in a moment. So
we have a safety car.
De Grassi has climbed out of the car, and the safety car is deployed. And I think just like 12 months ago, 13 months ago to be precise,
safety car
we may well have this race finishing behind the safety car. De Grassi is out of his car.
Energy.
I don't think, as they start the penultimate lap of the race, they will be able to do anything about this.
Okay.
They have come not a moment too soon for Stefan Sarrazin at 6% power.
This session will finish under the safety car.
There we go. So confirmation from Scott Elkins that it will finish under the safety car. Buemi is celebrating.
Safety car, carry on.
So Lopez being told to carry on, shaking of hands all around.
Good job.
A first podium for Lopez.
Okay, we need to wait for the checkered flag, but looks good.
Ça finit comme ça,
So it's finished, says
Ouais,
Sébastien Buemi.
C'est ce que dit le race director. C'est ce que dit le race director.
So Sébastien Buemi victorious then here in the Paris E-Prix.
Le safety car dégagera dans le dernier tour normalement et ce sera à toi de passer la ligne.
Attention all teams, this is race control. Please be aware that the safety car will enter pit lane on the last lap. You are not to follow. You are not to follow.
Okay, so that's just confirmation. Safety car will come into the pits. Now this really messes up the race for Robin Freinz and Esteban Gutierrez.
On ne suit pas le safety car, on ne suit pas le safety car dans la pit lane.
Because it means that
tu passes la finish line.
Yep. Your safety car message.
There we go. They're just transferring that news over.
I know.
Lopez has got it. Lopez has got it. But yeah, Freinz and Gutierrez, their 5-second penalties now will be massively amplified because everyone's nose to tail behind the safety car.
It's also something that you have to look at when you allow somebody to keep going out trying to post fastest laps.
Yeah.
You're always going to run the risk that there's going to be an incident, and it's an unfortunate situation when the race finishes like this. So it's not worked out.
Tu maintiens des tempes et freins, s'il te plaît. Tu maintiens des tempes et freins.
Final lap of the race for Sébastien Buemi as he makes his way around.
On chauffe les freins.
Lopez second, Heidfeld third, Rosenqvist fourth, Freinz fifth. A little bit of an anticlimactic end, but those Freinz and Prost positions will be a lot further down the order. Daniel Ackman 7th, Gutierrez, PK, Dillman scoring points on his Formula E debut, which is good news for him. So that will drop Freinz basically down, possibly down, well, if you're now, if these teams are smart, if you're Mitch Evans, you get as close to the back of the car in front as you absolutely can. So when you come across the line, you've got half a chance of nicking another position when the 5-second time penalties are applied. I think Mitch Evans might end up in the points here, even though he's 11th at the moment. We'll see whether they do that. Or equally, look, and the other way around, look, Gutierrez, they figured it out.
Mr. Buemi, stay on track, please.
Or have they? What is
time,
Gutierrez doing? He's backed off an awful long way, unless he's planning on sprinting away, trying to catch everyone off guard, and getting a more than 5-second advantage. Let's see what happens. There's the checkered flag. It's victory in Paris for Sébastien Buemi, and he extends his championship lead. And look, Gutierrez looks like he's run into trouble, maybe. Yes, and now he floors it, look. Now he floors it. Daniel Abt has run into trouble. Oh, that's a little bit dodgy, I think, and Daniel Abt from 7th place looks like he's run into problems. So what a bizarre ending to the Paris E-Prix there. So we'll wait for official confirmation. It hasn't really worked for Gutierrez because everyone is going to close right up to the back of him, but it's worked a treat for Robin Freins. That means Freins won't lose any positions in 5th position. So what a bizarre end to the race.
Daniel Abt falls out of the top 10.
Yeah.
I was watching Stefan Sarrazin to see if he'd even make the checkered flag.
Look at Daniel
Abt will not.
So that means that Mitch Evans does manage to pick up a point. So there you can see Abt had run into trouble, and no one could pass him. That was the problem. And then I think at some point they decided, well, this is just silly. we're going to have to crack on with it here. But it's Sébastien Buemi then, the championship leader, who wins once again around, well, for the first time around the streets of Paris. And he is making his way now back to the pit lane. Celebrations in the Renault garage. Celebrations for Mahindra as well. We saw a very emotional Dilbag Gill, and he's going to be on the podium in a couple of moments' time.